Welcome back. Music here is so dramatic. What are you trying to jump for? Oh, can you block the ball somehow if you jump? I don't think so. I believe you could actually block the ball in some weird way if you jumped in Konoha Beach Volleyball. It was actually a pretty useful technique to learn. I don't know why... Oh. I don't know why my partner jumped just then. As far as I can tell, there's no reason to jump in. Jump as a receiver. Sometimes it looks like you're right next to something and you swing with fairly normal timing and you somehow only barely hit it. They still don't really go for spikes, which is kind of weird. Like, isn't that... at this point, isn't that the only sensible thing to do? Maybe if you do endless, the difficulty eventually gets higher to where the AI actually starts using all the mechanics of the game. Oops. But it's always weird to me if you have a game where... Oops. Didn't expect to actually hit across there for some reason. Oh, I keep... Sometimes my finger hits the B button as I'm trying to swing the remote upwards. It's weird to me when you have... Hold up. Contract. When there are game mechanics that the AI just never uses. It's like only humans actually get to use that as weapons against an AI. It just feels kind of unfair. Let's try and hit that ball somewhere else. And lo and behold, I can no longer move. Oh, no jumping there, Granny. That spike definitely would have gotten me if they actually... Okay, I was not trying to hit that there at all, but I don't know why they're both scrunched in that corner. But, yeah, I don't know why it's so rare for them to do spikes. I mean, the few times they did it, they would have actually gotten me if they hadn't messed it up. Okay. So that's that for each volleyball. And we're on the 3rd episode already, my god. I need a lot of time.
Hey.
Record for what? Or balloon. Oh yeah! You make your opponents better. That's actually pretty topical. Forgot about that. Oh, okay. Anyways, back to the dog. No. What is the dog of the day this time? Oh, is it still Teacup? Scooter, not Teacup. Somewhere. Alright, but we still got things to do basically anywhere, I think. I think it's still to where we can basically just go to any game we see. And there'll be stamps to get there. Or keys, rather. It's kind of a weird place to have your duty. At the fountain. Here's why it is they take the time to tell the dog to stay here. Oh jeez. Do everything. Oh my god! Okay, there's a lot to do here. Some of these have tons of stuff to do, some of them don't. It's kind of weird. Oh, these might not be too long, we'll see. Rain looks like she just woke up. How does everyone start at different speeds? I'm just not clear on that. Oh! Pulling a pit maneuver on me. And not that I never fought dirty in the... in the races and other ATV games I've played. Okay, so far everything's in basically a straight line, so I'm not sure how one is supposed to pass. I don't know how I got past that person just now. I don't think we have any kind of drifting. That's a pre-jump. That's one place where you can get on someone. It's interesting contrasting this against the races that you had in the skiing games, since in those games necessarily everything was just downhill. So you had lots of sections that weren't really very active, so to speak. You would just be sliding downwards down the hill. And there wouldn't really be anything to do. You'd just be waiting for yourself to fall down to the bottom of the slope. Which in a certain sense was kind of an interesting fun thing in its own right, actually. Oops. I don't know if you really can do a free jump on that one. But it's interesting having an element of passivity almost to our pace in one case. I don't know how much slower you go through water. But where there's actually a point where you need to just slow down and just let things happen on their own. That's not something you usually see very often in a race, I don't feel like. And in this case, even if you're going in a straight line, you still need to hold a button. Whereas in the ski games, nice camera, you had to really just keep yourself crouched, and that was really it on straightaways. At least if you're down a hill. If you weren't going down a hill, then no. Brought the brake button. I thought I was playing ski games for a second, and I pulled back on the nunchuck to try to brake. Of course, if you were on flatland or something like that, you'd actually have to keep pumping the skis. I don't know if that has anything to do with revving your engine at the beginning. Going faster or slower at the beginning. I imagine it would probably be faster to go on the rocks here and then just not jump so you don't lose too much air time, but that's the faster terrain I imagine, because I think you go slower through mud. The question in games like this is always whether there should be some incentive to do tricks while racing. Because you can have pure racing where you don't do that, which can be entertaining in its own right, but you can also add the flair and fun extra mechanics of having tricks to do, usually in the form of some kind of boost mechanic. But I'm actually pretty fine with the somewhat minimalist racing style of this game and the skiing games, where... What's with the arrow there? Oh, just to tell you, you actually have to go down there. That is... yeah, unexpected. It's cool. You cover quite a lot of ground here. cannot get off your bike, though. That would be entertaining if you could just get off your bike at the end. Doing it again. People actually say things, that's entertaining. I've got a bad relationship with this guy. Alright. Ooh, keep racing line. Is there an issue if you fall to the left here? You fall in the water, so I imagine so. As you just get respawn. So you're not having a wall somewhere though. I don't think the water there is shallow enough for you to actually go through at least. Otherwise it could be an interesting shortcut. Ready to go. On trees. I think that guy definitely slowed down in front of me. I think there's some rubber banding going on there. It's a solid strategy and for Fury at least. Just jump on someone, knock off their bike. Yeah. Most of these bumps are too big to really jump over. I'm liking how, even though we have lots of very basic renditions of different kinds of games and whatnot, and vehicles in this game, they don't feel too... They don't really feel incomplete, even though they're fairly minimal implementations. Like, you can't do lots of stunts that you would have done in Off-Road Fury, for instance, on the ATVs here. But in spite of that, it still feels like a decent ATV experience. I'm gonna pretend that was deliberate. Alright. We have time for one more thing, I guess. And the beach volleyball. The beach volleyball still feels like a complete minigame, even though it doesn't have all the depth that Klonoa beach volleyball had. Okay, he's got a more enthusiastic poster today. Let's run get faster bikes than me. He has to make up for what she doesn't have in technology and technique. That was not very good technique on their end. There we go. A little nerve-wracking though having to dodge things in this game. With the motion controls, very slippery motion controls on this bike. Yeah, jump there. I don't know. Couldn't quite see whether or not there was a dip there. I still don't know how she actually slowed down, if at all, in different terrain. And there are cases where it would make sense if you get slowed down. This is a long lap, by the way, jeez. These lap races are going to be a good deal longer, it looks like. I do like that you cover a decent bit of the island zombies, though. It is really cool having explored the island so much and then having started doing some of the other stuff, so I can really appreciate all the ground we're covering. Because that means we're racing through a place that I recognize, that I know my way around. So I know where we're going. So now we're going back off to... Ooh. Wild Hills. You know, you start back in Mary Bay. Or Sunshine specifically. Mary Bay's the whole day, I believe. There you go. So no idea if it's faster to go to the right here or not. I don't think you get slowed down much by jumping in its own right either. But going up a ramp will generally slow you down a little bit since you're not going perfectly straight forwards. That turn sign makes you think you have to turn more than you do, I feel like. And as a random side note, I do think I'll do all of the wind sailing stuff as well, and any other Motion Plus activities, even though the game doesn't require them for 100% completion. Since I'm able. And last lap. Yeah, these are long laps. It's funny seeing how consistently you can get your times to be across such long laps too. Exactly 2 seconds difference across. Almost a minute and a half. Although I feel like in a race this long, there's not too much opportunity for things to change once somebody gets out in front. In most cases. You already have a fairly decisive victory at one point. There you go, so I'm learning how to get around here. I don't think there's any reason to take the path on the right, or necessarily even to jump. It might preserve some speed ahead. If you jump there. Not supposed to jump there. That was just... So the thing is, in this particular vehicle, you're holding B most of the time, because that's the gas. Oh no, you don't even have to press B to jump in this case. So if you accidentally shake the remote at all, you jump, essentially. Yeah, pulling tight corners on this thing is the most difficult thing of all, I think. It's what you have to get used to more than anything else on the ATV. It's how it slides and the precision of the motion controls. How are you doing an endo again? I thought I was just holding up on the nunchuck and stopping, something like that. Award ceremony. Hi, dog. Alright, well next time I'll do the last circuit race, and then we'll move on to the slalom, I think, and we'll see how much time there is left for anything else after that, because we have 2 more episodes. But probably going to take up the entirety of the next episode just for bikes. We'll see. Bye, everyone.